The PENDAS Law Firm.
Well, it is something that we have to do every day. We have to hit the road. We've got to drop off the kids. We've got to go to work. We've got to run the errands. But as we know, as hard as we try to stay safe, unfortunately, there are accidents. Well, we're here with Lou PENDAS, who's the owner of the PENDAS Law Firm, and Hayes Mathis, who is the managing attorney. Thanks so much for inviting us to the law firm to be able to see everything.
Welcome to our offices.
No, it is our pleasure, and I had to drive to get here.
That's exactly right.
And a bunch of geese were walking in front of me, and there were cars going all over the place. So it's just something that seems, unfortunately, at times unavoidable. Accidents aren't going to happen. So what is the first thing that you should do? Because that can really make a big difference, not only in the care you receive, but the legal representation that you may need.
Absolutely. I'll tell you, I say this a little jokingly, call a lawyer is really the first thing that I recommend, although obviously it's not always the most viable thing to do because you just got into an accident. But the key, if it's an accident that is not so severe as to require the accident victim to be airlifted or taken by ambulance to a hospital, my recommendation and the goal is to preserve as much evidence as possible. That's really what you need to be doing. First things first, call the police to document what happened, and in particular when you're not at fault, is paramount. Why? Oftentimes, if the police doesn't come, it's going to turn into a he said, she said. And let me tell you, it's never going to be, it's his story, her story, and then the truth. So the equalizer in that is going to be for the police to come in, investigate, document both sides. Make sure when they show up that you tell your side of the story. I've seen it dozens of times where the police only interviews one person. Obviously that person is going to be biased in the way he or she represents what happened, and then the wrong person is found at fault. So you, when you see the police, need to intervene and make sure that you tell your side of the story. They could do their proper due diligence, their investigation, and then come out with some kind of conclusion. Most of the time they have a conclusion and they assign fault, sometimes they don't. In addition to that, make sure that you exchange as much information from the other party as possible, including insurance if you can get it, and so on and so on. The other thing, if there happens to be any witnesses, and oftentimes everybody's carrying a cell phone, and every cell phone has a camera or video. You don't know if somebody was there taking video or taking photographs. Try to get as many names and numbers of those witnesses as possible, so then later on when you do hire a lawyer and submit a claim, that evidence has been preserved.
Now you bring up the cell phone. Is that something you should do if you're not so injured that you have to be taken to the hospital right away, or say you're with someone, someone's in the car with you? Should you ask them to take pictures for you of the scene, or is that something you should just entrust the law firm, or I'm sorry, the law enforcement to do?
Well, evidence can be lost, and it's paramount to actually try to take pictures yourself if you're at the scene. Now I would say initially call us, but if for some reason you can't, take pictures of the vehicles involved, take pictures of the scene, because evidence can be lost, and it's so important to keep as much evidence as you can.
And I do want to ask this. Sometimes you're in an incident, and you know, first thing you want to do is take care of everything you have to take care of, and then the next day or a few hours you wake up and you're really stiff and you're in pain or you have a headache. What should you do about that? Should you immediately go to a doctor?
Well, yes, and it depends, quite honestly, about the severity of the injuries. Some can wait till the next day. Some people don't even feel pain immediately. And oftentimes, we've seen this in our practice every day.
Absolutely.
Where the adrenaline is pumping so much that, quite honestly, what you're thinking about is just dealing with your trauma at that moment. 24 hours go by, you start relaxing, and all of a sudden, oh my gosh, you could barely move. So certainly
don't blow it off.
No, do not blow it off, because there's a lot of people out there, and men are infamous for this. I'm going to weather the storm, I'm macho, I'm not going to get treatment, and that comes back to haunt them, because once it gets bad enough and they finally give in and go to the doctor, well, that lapse in treatment following an accident will be used against you by the insurance company to suggest that perhaps there is a causal relationship problem. And that is to say, something happened between the accident and your time that you went to actually seek treatment that actually caused your injuries, not the accident itself.
And this is why it's so important to give you all a call first, because you have to deal with the case, then you have to deal with the insurance company and maybe the doctor. So that's really, at the end of the day, why you say, call us first, because we're going to help you navigate all this.
That's exactly right, and it's very important not just to focus on one aspect of this claims process, but really when you hire us, what we end up doing is looking at every component and making sure that we secure and present the best possible argument in the best possible light for our client to ensure that their return and their payout is the most it can possibly be under the law.
Lou and Hayes, thank you so much for bringing us here and showing us the law firm and telling us more about the great services that you have. And obviously, we'd like to thank the PENDAS Law Firm for making this segment happen today. And of course, for more information, as you heard, please check out their website, visit pendaslaw.com, or give them a call at 904-800-0000. Put it in your phone now. That way, if you ever need their help, you've got it.
Coming up, folks, Chloe Kusker.